Hey everybody, Taylor Brown here with String Fairy. In this episode, we're going to make one of my Instagram renders at string_fairy. And the one that I'm choosing today is this one right here. Okay, so let's get started by deleting the default lamp and camera here. I'm going to keep it cube and turn this to cycles for the render engine. And for the device, let's choose GPU. Render this out. Add a mesh plane, move it up GZ, and give it animation by pressing E. Change the strength here to something like 20. Scale it up. Now give this a bevel. Increase the segments here. Smooth shade it. Harden the normals here. And turn on auto smooth right here. Okay. Now let's get into the shader editor. Turn on the Normangler add-on, make it easier for us. And then add a wireframe node. Press Ctrl-Shift-5-click to view the node. Increase the size here something like 0.02. That way it covers up the bevel all the way. Okay. Now we can plug this into a mix between a glass shader and a glossy shader and a anisotropic shader. Let's get a mix. Plug the wireframe into the factor. Now, to see the glass refracting, we need to be refracting something. So let's add a mesh plane, move it down, GZ, scale it up. Much better. Okay. Let's also add a solidify modifier to this, above the bevel, like so. Okay. Now we want a texture to be plugged into the sides here to create some patterns along the wireframe. Let's add a Voronoi texture here. View the node, change the distance metric to Chebyshev, and the feature output to second closest. Add a color ramper here. Change the interpolation to constant. Move this over. We get some nice panels here. Plug this into the size here. But this is way too large of a size for the wireframe. So let's limit the size using a mix RGB. Plugging the texture into the factor. Adding two value nodes, one for the greatest size, one for the smallest size. Let's do 0.02. 0.2 for this. Add a texture setup by pressing Ctrl-T. Then use the object coordinate. And change the scale here to something like 2. Or even 1. Let's change this value here, something like 0.3. Now for the anisotropic node, let's change the color here, something like a gold. And raise the roughness of the glass here. Make it more frosted. Okay. Now we want this effect on all the faces here. This cube here. So let's add a tangent node. 3 of them actually. All for different axes. Combine them together with a vector math node. And plug this into the tangent here. Now let's add a second Voronoi texture off from the same texture coordinate, copying it and the color ramp, and changing the scale here something like 3, and plugging this into the rotation of the shader. Make sure that this is not white, but 50% gray. Now we get some nice panel effects going on with this. Now we want the wireframe to be raised above the glass a little bit, so let's add a bump node. Plug the wireframe into the height. Plug this into the normal, and normal right down here as well. Let's change the scale here something like 1.5 or 2. Okay. Now let's complete the background here by adding a back, E, click, G, Z. Add a bevel for the back here. Increase the width and the segments here. Smooth shade it. And to leave us of the pain of constantly rotating the light here for different lighting scenarios, we can just add a constraint, damp to track, and set the target to the object here. Use the Z-axis. Let's rotate this object by 45 degrees, RZ45, and then RX15. That way we get a nice, more dynamic feel to it. Add a camera, Shift A camera, Control Alt Numpad 0, move the camera in, G middle mouse wheel, and change the resolution to 1920 by 1920. Move the camera in some more. Change the color of the background here to a purple. Mix these together. Plug a light path node, camera ray feature into the factor here. Switches up. Much better. Now let's add some caustics casting down from this glass here. So let's move this one down and start expanding off of the glass here. So let's mix the glass with a transparent shader. It's casting down no shadow. If we plug a light path node, shadow ray into the factor, no shadow whatsoever. But if we change the value to something like 2, we get a nice white shadow. Let's remove the actual caustics. Let's mix this white shadow with a second transparent shader. And plugging a texture into the factor. We're going to plug a Voronoi texture, Control T, and create a second one here. Change the scale here, something like 10. And then mix these together. Play around with the blend type until we get something that we like. Let's try out Dodge. Dodge is good. Plug this into the factor here. Switches up. Let's add a color ramp as well. Add a slider here. We get nice caustics here. Now let's view the whole setup here and increase the contrast with the color management here. And also give the transparent shadow a actual shadow here. That makes the caustic stand out a little bit more. Let's rotate this object just a little bit more. R, like that. We want to get some closer context shadows right around here. We can always change the color of the anisotropic node right here, make it more dull and darker. I like that quite a bit. Let's change the render settings here to 256 for the tile size, and change the render something like just 100 because we'll be using the denoise. And let's go into the view layer tab, add normal and direct diffuse. Let's render this guy out. F12. Now let's hop into the compositor here. Compositor, turn on nodes, use the backdrop here. Press Ctrl Shift left click to view the node, and V to zoom out. Let's add a denoise here, denoise, and plug the normal into the normal here, and the direct diffuse into the albedo. Now let's plug a glare node into here. Mix this with the original image here. And then add a lens distortion node. Change the dispersion to something like 0.02. And that is how you make this abstract cube in Blender Cycles. Now you can feel free to post on Instagram and send it my way at string_fairy again. And also feel free to suggest any future videos, including ones based off of these examples. And also make sure to subscribe, like, and share the video. So, see you guys next time. Bye.